Welcome to Grow My Etsy Shop podcast, the drips of knowledge you need to start growing. Hey, welcome. So, a couple weeks ago, I did a podcast episode, and it was called Good Enough or something like that, which was essentially saying when we are working with AI, we need to recognize that there is a good enough stage of AI, meaning that we can take that and use that, and we don't have to necessarily be like, oh, this isn't perfect enough, so I can't use it, therefore I need to go and do all this effort to make it perfect. I'm going to rebuttal that today. And this is just because I've had conversations with Etsy shops, especially people who've listened to this episode, and we've gone back and forth and talked about this, and I want to play the devil's advocate to the other side of it. I want to make sure that we understand this principle, because this principle is going to be the difference between you having a successful Etsy shop and you having an Etsy shop. So let's jump into this. So something that Etsy has done is it's lowered the bar of entry to online selling. Before, you had to build your own website, you had to find your own traffic, you had to get blah, 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 blah. Etsy has made it say, hey, you can actually sell things on the internet and hand us the pictures, tell us what it is, and we'll build the online store for you and play our rules, and we'll even send you free traffic that comes from that. And so by getting traffic, the structure of a website, the back end of it all done, a place where customers can contact you, shipping, the whole thing, that has made people be able to enter into the online space and sell at a lower bar. So before, what they had, compared to what they had to do before. AI is the next step of lowering that bar, because with Etsy there was still like, well, I need to be able to understand SEO, I need to be able to take photos, I need to be able to blah 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 blah. AI has made it that now even more can get onto Etsy and take advantage of this platform that has already lowered the bar. So in my episode where I talked about good enough, I was saying, hey, there are things that take effort. And if you are bogged down in the effort of things, AI can help release that for you. So if you're the type of person that's created an amazing photograph and have done the work and have say, hey, this is a picture of my product, people really like this picture, this seems to be working for me, you can plug that bad boy into AI and change the color of it and sell a different variant of that. And that's a really great way to take effort off of your plate, because you're maximizing what you've already put into Etsy. Where things can get a little sticky is when we try to replace our taste or our vision by using AI. Now, if you've ever tried to do this with AI, you're going to see that it can't do it yet. I think we've all experienced the, like we say, hey, write a blog article, and then a blog article pops out, and you're like, oh my gosh, this used to take me an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It just did it in 12 seconds. This is incredible. Or you say, hey, AI, make a song for me. And it makes a song. And you're like, wow, that's not just like a bad song. That's a pretty good song. It did a good job. Or you say, hey, make this photograph for me. And all of a sudden, boom, there it is. You're like, oh my gosh, I couldn't have taken this picture. It's out in the Grand Canyon. And it did it. This is incredible. And what we naturally do, and this is where social media, I feel like, has been really aggressive, is that we are already in a world where the algorithm is trying to promote and to get clicks and views and things like this. So if I can get on here and say, AI can run your whole Etsy shop, your antenna is going to pop up, because you're going to be like, yes, that is amazing. I spend so much time trying to run things that I don't necessarily love to do. If AI could just run it for me, then I can just make my products and life will be good. And so you click, you get into it, and yada, yada, yada. But this is where you can get into this time loop of trying to get AI to do things that it can't do. So here's my example. Go have AI make a song for you, and you'll be impressed. But now go have AI try to make your song. So go to it and say, this is the sound I want. This is what I'm trying to get. This is the emotion I'm trying to move from this song. And then go in there, and you're going to be like, oh, it's just looping its formula. It sounds the exact same no matter how many times I'm trying to fix this song. If you do that with your photos, which I'm sure most of you have experienced this, where you're like, that's a really great photo, but it's about 80% there. So let me try to finish that last 20%. And you get stuck in that loop where you're like, this thing's just pushing out the same crap. And I can't get it to fix that last part. If you write a blog article, you'll be like, that's amazing. Say, write more. And you'll start to be like, oh, this looks like the last blog articles you've written and the other blog articles that I read that I kind of I'm aware that they're AI. This is such a great example. Stock photos. Do you remember when stock photos first came out? They were the shiz because I can't take a picture of a cleaning company, but if I wanted to advertise a cleaning company, I could go to this website and there's these actors all dressed up in their stuff, who a nice big old camera lens, took this picture, Christmas could be, I put on a billboard. Like, this was amazing. And I could take that and plug that right into ads. And suddenly my business went from, hi, I'm Ma and Pa, ding, 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 to I'm this professional commercial cleaning company. Now you can trust us. But now, 2026, you go onto someone's Google listing. You're looking for a cleaner and they have a bunch of stock photos in their stuff. What does your brain do? You recognize that it's stock photo and you naturally say, well, none of this is true. It's not accurate. This isn't a representation of their business. I don't know. Therefore, I'm being asked to guess. And we've talked about this. As soon as our customers have to use their imagination or have to guess, we're going to lose that sale. And so the stock photo industry has plummeted for this reason. It doesn't work as well. Ads used to work the same way. We would be on our social media and an ad would pop up, and we didn't know what an ad was at the time. So we would indulge in it. We would watch it. We would find joy in it. Now, you might be watching a video and be like, oh, I'm entertained. And all of a sudden the little ad thing pops up and you're like, I'm out. Whoop, gone. You've gotten so conditioned to what an ad is, recognizing it right off the bat. This person's trying to sell me something. Gone, 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 gone. That is already happening with AI. People are recognizing their AI filter is becoming stronger, and they're recognizing this is AI. They're recognizing that blog was written by AI. They're recognizing that song was made by AI because there's a sound. You've probably heard this term. They call it slop, AI slop, which is just that it's regurgitating very similar information over and over and over again that you can't necessarily break out of that. So in our own Etsy shop, we don't want to get that or fall victim to, oh, wow, this generates instant mock-ups or whatever it may be, because our store will start to look very stock photo, we'll say. And at a certain point, as the AI filter grows, or as someone has been burned by an AI picture, this means that they are seeing something that they think they're buying, and what they get in return is not that. And as soon as that happens, that trust is going to wipe out so much of the slop that's on the internet. There was a big movement of this with online coaches, actually. So online coaches used to get on here on the internet and they could say, you don't know me, but I'm very successful and I make a lot of money and I'm going to help you make a lot of money. And are you unhappy? And are you stuck? And are you in a career you don't like? Well, you know who did this first? His name was Tai Lopez. He's like the George Washington of online coaches. And he was the guy, if you ever saw his ad, you would recognize, or you'll know what I'm talking about really quick. He was the guy with the Ferrari in his, or it might have been Lamborghini or something like that, in his garage. And he had books in his garage. So he would come out with his phone or whatever, and he would say, these are my cars. And you would see, oh my gosh, you must be so wealthy because you have all those cars. And he would say, but this isn't the most valuable thing I own. And then he would pan to the books in his library. He had this giant library in his garage. And he would say, these books are way more valuable than the Ferraris that I have, than the Lamborghinis that I have. It's the books. It's the knowledge I've gained from this. Ultimately, he was selling, I've read all these books. I've compiled information that can make you a lot of money. Sign up and trust me. Tai Lopez was this guy's name. If that ad ran today, people are going to be like, yeah, bro, enjoy it. You fool. We're not following that. Get out. It worked then. It doesn't work now. The reason for it is that if people get burned, if they sign up for Tai Lopez's course and they're like, wow, this was really empty, there was nothing in here that actually helped me, then the next person who gets on the internet and is regurgitating exactly what this last guy said, they're gonna go, no, I'm putting you in the same bucket as Tai Lopez. So what we don't want to have happen to us as AI continues to grow is that we get put into the same bucket as everyone else who's burned people. So you're probably wondering at this stage, okay, Jared, you've talked about how AI can make my effort so much easier. It can help me scale my shop. I can use it to create multiple listings, to test things and try things out. And I am still a 100% believer of that. In fact, I genuinely believe if you are not doing it, you will fall behind. Because you can test the market with different stuff. You can create listings so much quicker. But here's the problem. If you try to scale a store with it, all right, I'm going to tell you exactly why. You ready? AI trains itself on the average. And so if you are thinking AI is going to do this, if you're below average, then AI is going to make you average. And that's going to be great. But if you are trying to be above average, AI is going to make you average. Ooh, that's a great quote. Clip that, Jared. Hey, Jared's editor. I'll clap twice. Clip there. Just kidding. I don't have an editor. And I don't clip things. But that's a great line. Remember, if you are below average, it will make you average. And if you are trying to be above average, it will make you average. And if you have that understanding, then there are going to be things that you are below average in. Maybe you don't write blogs for your website. Okay, great. Let's have AI help us, because average is better than below average. But I am good at selling products on the internet, and if I'm relying heavily on AI to do that for me, it's going to make me average. So here's my solution. Here's how I currently, and this could change tomorrow, but this is how Jared Robinson currently works with AI in marketing and with his clients and whatnot. And this is for growth marketing stuff, not necessarily for Etsy stuff. We use AI to consult and figure out angles that we may not think of. But there are more people making decisions than there is AI making decisions, meaning that there's collaboration between humans that are trying to solve or be above average, and then we find where AI can help us get to that. But we have the vision before we set it. So if we go to AI without the vision, that's where it can get dangerous. Create listings for me, write titles for me, write this blog post for me. No. That's where you're going to get slop, average. And people's filters are going to catch that. They're going to see this is just an AI thing. But if you have a vision, then AI can help you reach that vision. But I think the best way to view it is, where am I below average that it can help me become average? And where is it that I'm putting a lot of effort and I can train something else to take this effort from me? But we should always look at AI as something we are training, not relying on. And so if you are using there's different types of AI. There's the number one reason I haven't really left ChatGPT. I have Claude. I'm paid for them all, actually. Claude is great, and it's very popular right now. But you'll be disappointed if you listen to what social media has to say about Claude and then use it. It's fluffed up. The thing that I appreciate about ChatGPT is that it has a really great memory, if you're paying for it. And you can come back to threads, you can start new threads, and it will remember things. And so as you train it and as it learns, it does become better at filling what your needs are. But again, this is Jared Robinson's warning to the world. All 100 of you listening to this. If you try to run an Etsy shop AI first, it won't hold. So now you have to ask yourself, how much time am I spending trying to learn the latest and greatest in AI so that it can do that? And if you find yourself consuming, or your algorithm is promoting to you AI that's going to auto run things, I will tell you this right now. It is not ready to do it. So don't waste your time consuming media that's trying to convince you or sell you their thing that's going to automate your entire stuff. It's not there. you will have it. Maybe it will be slop. So what you want to do instead is say, how can I treat AI as an employee of my shop? So I'm going to have it help me figure things out. I'm going to train it. I'm going to work with it. I'm going to go back and forth with it. And you will. I've had this conversation with people. Like I with Claude, I have the workspace and whatever, and I've had it run ads, or not run ads. I've had it pull from ad accounts and being able to give me insights. So I'll be like, hey, how did the ads do this week? And no. And then I'm like, that doesn't look correct. So then I say, hey, did you look at this? And it's like, oh, great catch, Jared. No, that changes everything. But it said so confidently what it felt like the issue was. And then just someone who knows marketing can say, you didn't look at that statistic. And they're like, oh yeah, I didn't. Good catch, Jared. Turns out everything is wrong that I told you before. And here's a very confident answer of why it's correct. And then I say, but what about this? And it says, great catch, Jared. And I'm like, okay, bro, I'd have fired you if you were my employee talking this confidently about something that isn't true. This is wrong what you're saying, but you're so confident that it's right. And so the mindset shift for me was employee, meaning I am the boss. I am going to assume that I know more, and I'm going to come to you and hear what you have to say and take that into my internal, and I'm going to work that out, and I'm going to research if that's correct, and then be able to make decisions this way. And I found that this has helped me avoid the slop generation, make good decisions, still trying to be above average in what we do without being pulled down by AI. So, kind of a backwards episode here, but your call to action. Jared, what should I do? Treat AI as an employee. Talk to it as an employee. Question it as an employee. Stay the boss of your shop. Do not let the internet convince you that your job is to put your feet up while AI runs everything for you. Maybe one day, but we are a ways away from it. Even if it can do it, it will do it average. You are not going to get a unique, tasteful, above average store from AI. You're going to get a store that looks just like the other people who are using AI. Keep the human involved with what you're doing. It is a great tool. We are opening this new chapter of humanity with AI, but keep the human at the head of the ship, and your store will benefit for it. Okay, till next week.